Toxic mothers are just as bad, if not worse than, absent fathers. And same goes for toxic fathers and absent mothers, but I want to focus on what the title says specifically because I feel like more people are in denial about toxic mothers. Just because she's present in your life and your dad isn't, doesn't mean your mom can't be just as hurtful and damaging. Agreed. I once said something to my therapist about not having any parents because my mother is so very abusive, and she said, "If only you didn't have parents, your life would be so much better." Absence isn't great, I agree. But daily and constant abuse fucks you up so much that you wish you'd never been born. No child should think that. Being better than shit isn't exactly an accomplishment. Unfortunate for any individual who faced one of the two. For some anecdotal evidence on this, my girlfriend has severe anxiety because of the excessive pressure put on her by her mom. Not the worst parent in the world, but definitely emotionally abusive and caused lifelong damage. Some people shouldn't be parents in general. Don't forget, toxic mothers create absent fathers. Many fathers find themselves kept away from their children due to false restraining orders, lies in family court about domestic violence, and constant harassment every time they try to see their children, and parental alienation to drive a wedge between the father and his children. This isn't the case every time a father is absent from their children's lives. Many men are just assholes. But, in sum, if you talk to the absent father, you will see a pattern of abusive behavior that makes it actually harmful for the father to see his kids. Oh yes, they both equally suck. And personally, it's easier as an adult to be in the same room as my absent father than my toxic mother. He hurt me in many ways and permanently damaged me. She hurt me in all the ways and left no stone unturned. Just thinking about her triggers me because she picked at everything about me for over 20 years. But she's your mom. Yes, and she also called me gay and slapped me. Her relation to me doesn't mean I have to like her. I can tell you firsthand that this is definitely true. My dad left when I was 2 and I saw him like once or twice a year until I was 14, then I never saw him again. I had my grandfather as a male role model, my uncle, a lifelong neighbor. I didn't need him specifically. My mother though? I have a post on this profile that my therapist encouraged me to write with 40 reasons why I don't speak to her anymore. I didn't stop at 40 because I ran out of reasons. I stopped at 40 because I was satisfied that it was enough and I didn't have to continue. Toxic parents in general can really mess you up. I have no idea how kids become well adjusted if they are their parents' emotional dumping ground. You shouldn't be your kid's best friend and your kid shouldn't be your best friend. Maybe in adulthood, and I think that's a big maybe. But never when you're a minor. As someone who's had a toxic mom my entire life, I can agree. Thank you for presenting some perspective for others who don't get it. Yeah, thanks to mine I have PTSD. When I told her about it, her response was, "I have it worse than you." Grew up with a toxic mother. At 35 years old, I'm still told she doesn't know who my biological father is. Can confirm this post is spot on. I'm moving 1,000 plus miles away next week just to get away from her. Put those two together and you get twice the damage to the child. I had both a toxic mom, and an absent father. As much as I have daddy issues, my mom left a worse impact on me than missing my dad ever did. One passively hurts their child by being gone while the other may or may not be actively hurting their child by living with them. I agree with this. I was adopted and I never met my biological father, but my biological mother stayed in my life. She is very toxic and my mental health suffers from the lies and situations I was put through. I have no resentment toward my biological father, but I do toward my biological mother for everything she's done. If she would have left like my father, I believe I would be happier. I honestly couldn't agree with you more. I, F29, have had a tumultuous mother-daughter relationship with my mother for a very long time. Even though my father left when I was 13, I resent her more than anything. She put me and my siblings through years of emotional abuse and gaslighting. Just recently, I took a leap of faith and signed up for adult ballet classes. Ballet was always a passion of mine, but I put it on the back burner for a few years due to having children. Well, I told my mother. Instead of giving me any type of praise, her first response was, "Are you sure you can handle it considering you're almost going to be 30? Her words cut deep mainly because it was the perfect example of the lack of support I've had from her. Her comment was total unnecessary. Logically, I knew it was ridiculous. I had 15 people tell me how proud they were of me, yet, her words tore through me and almost caused me to back out of taking the classes. Long story short, I agree with you. Toxic mothers can do some serious damage, uneasy